It's the most dynamic, wonderful place in London, I think, and should be celebrated.
I've always aspired to get into this area, so I just think it's a really cool area, up and coming, definitely.
If you were going to create a square mile of real estate, you'd never end up with London Bridge. It's only the fact that it's happened over a long period of time with succeeding generations and eras.
It's kind of very buzzy, full of sort of young professionals.
It's a very corporate but also quite a playful place to work as well.
There's a lot of fun and theatre and imagination around here.
It's incredibly diverse in terms of culture, economic, it's got great history, a real tradition of work, of docks, of creative industry. Obviously over the years it's changed a lot and we've got far more corporate business involved as well.
So now there are actually, I believe, 47,000 people working and living on the other side, the north side of the viaduct, and yet there's no space on the north side for a retail offer for all those office workers. They're cash rich and time poor. And on the south side, there's space for the development of a whole retail community.
I think it would be great to have a few more retail outlets local to the area.
There's definitely a need for an increase in the number of bars, number of pubs, number of night spaces for workers to enjoy.
London Bridge Station is currently undergoing a massive regeneration programme. Circa £1 billion of investment are going to change what is locally perceived as being the most horrible station in London to being, you know, a 21st century fantastic station. Whereas, you know, the Shard is the big shiny thing that puts us on the map, it's London Bridge Station actually that really transforms the area.
What we're interested in is getting the maximum benefit out of the changes for everybody, all the users, people who live around here, the visitors and so on. And that really means focusing on the spaces available within the arches.
When you arrive in London Bridge, you'll be coming into the old Arches and Tunnels complex. When you pass through to the underground, you'll be passing through a huge area of arches and tunnels. London Bridge is going to increasingly be known as a place where arches and tunnels are the defining feature. So the area that we're talking slightly to the east of the footprint of the station, there's more arches. So we're going to build on the positive characteristics of the current development and take that further to the east.
Underneath some of the dirt and grime that is built up over 150 odd years, they're just fabulous buildings.
People think, you know, the little arches, they're massive, they're huge and they're extensive, and it has the potential to do great things with it.
They're not your bog standard little box or whatever, they're interesting.
My name's Sammy Forway, I'm the director of the Underdog Gallery in Bermondsey, and I've been here since September 2011. I fell in love with it when I first saw it. It's so versatile, it's perfect for an art gallery I think. The open space obviously, the high ceilings.
The arches are great feats of engineering and brickwork, but they have been left to deteriorate over the years.
The divide that exists between the north, the sort of shiny riverfront, and the sort of more bohemian and residential south is the arches and tunnels. They are literally sort of the Great Wall of London Bridge. Team London Bridge is proposing an arts, crafts and technology cluster of businesses in the arches and tunnels to the east of Bermondsey Street. Our vision of the arches and tunnels is one whereby they're occupied by independent creative companies, so that they have active frontage, there's a buzz of small and medium-sized businesses, and they contribute to the sort of the image and the destination that is London Bridge.
I think getting the arts and crafts into this area and develop it even further from where it is now is a great idea. And if the arches can be used for that, fantastic.
Historically, this part of London specialised in a lot of craft. You can find traces of some of these: leather making, shoemaking, tailoring.
I think there's quite a nice link between what was happening there and the local businesses and the local industry that was there, and preserving some of that heritage and some of that culture. There's a sort of continuity, a theme. It would be nice to be doing something similar in the same premises some 200 years on.
Independence, shops, stores, workshops, galleries maybe, will draw people in. Whereas what would Tesco's and all those other chain stores bring, they're just more of the same, and people will come to those and go home. They can do that elsewhere. They can do it down the road, literally. That's fine. I've nothing against these places. But what we want to produce is something, essentially, it's beautiful.
On the doorstep of London Bridge, we've got Borough Market, which is a world famous, food market. That's fantastic. We've got Maltby Street, which is a little more anarchic. We've got Bermondsey Street, which is independent and sort of quirky shops and restaurants.
With the Fashion and Textile Museum, that has attracted other creative people into the area, from shoes to Alex Munro, who's a jeweller. And of course now we have the White Cube in Bermondsey Street, biggest private gallery in Europe. The number of people coming down Bermondsey Street as a result of that gallery is phenomenal. What we need now is more gallery space. And where are they going to go? Into the arches would be a good idea.
Within London there are pockets where arches have been redeveloped in a very interesting way. Isabella Street near Southwark Tube Station has a series of interesting bars and clubs.
We all see areas of London where you just feel they could do something with it, and eventually they do. This is one of those, but we should be doing it now because the station and the whole area around is being developed. This is the time to do it.
What happens to the arches and tunnels really matter for this community. The railway line runs right through the heart of the community. That could be a real divide, or it could be a way that actually people are brought together where they circulate, they spend time living, working, shopping, and that is really what makes a community.